Good morning, and the sun is shining and the birds are singing. So welcome in on this Monday morning to this live, and my name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the UK, and it is lovely to have you joining me today. So whether you're joining me live or whether you're joining on catch up, do say hello, do leave comments and shout outs and all of those sorts of things. Do share these videos, do like, subscribe, do all of those things that small crafty businesses love you to do to enable us to keep bringing you these inspirational, hopefully inspirational videos and things. So let's just bring in, morning Lisa. Let's bring in some of these. So this is me. I am www.Love-a-Duckie.co.uk, and that's my website, and that's where you will find lots of inspiration, blog posts, classes, downloads, all of those sorts of things. So do head on over there to have a look at those. And this is one of the downloads you can find. We're still selling the tutorial bundle to support International Red Cross's work in the Ukraine. The Creativity Abounds team have now sold well in excess of 215, I think, now bundles across the world. So that money the money that we have made so far has already been paid in. So that's lots of pennies. So thank you to everybody that has already purchased that, and wherever you are in the world. If you head on over to my website, you will find the links to be able to purchase that and get your download and create cards of your own. And in fact, some people have reached out to us. They have taken some ideas from the tutorial bundle and are creating cards themselves that they are going to sell in order to raise money. So that is a beautiful knock-on effect. So if that's something that you're interested in doing, then by all means go and grab that download for yourself and enjoy. We have this offer on during the month of March, this 20% offer off of the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss, and alongside that there are these 13 stamp and die bundles, and we're going to be using one of those today. The Quiet Meadow bundle is the bundle that's going to be added into our crafting today. Some other news coming up of having my first all-day retreat in well, it'll be a long time, and that is happening on the 18th of June, and it is here locally in Northamptonshire at Wadnow Village Hall. So if you would like to come and join us for that, you get a nice big kit in that, a goodie bag with at least £50 worth of new goodies. You get all your food and refreshments all day, as well as crafting and inspiration and all of those things. So do join us for that. If you're not able to make the retreat in person, I am also offering a retreat in a box with the same goodie bag and inspiration and things to go with that. So do check those out. You'll find those on my website. And these are some upcoming classes for April. So I have got classes. I've still got a stamper stack coming up with the Easter friends that we're going to be using today, actually. So if you would like one of those through the post, or you'd like to come and join us, I can't guarantee getting a stamp set here in time for the date of the class, but you can certainly do the class and have that afterwards, or if you're having it in the post, I'd just wait until it was all here and then send it on to you. But that is the last class for March, apart from the Saturday stampers that I've got coming up this Saturday. But these are for April. So in April we're going to do a one sheet wonder with the ladybug stamp set and punch and things. We've got a stamper stack class with the amazing silhouettes, and you can either do that in person or have that via the post. And then the same Creativity Abounds team that bought you that tutorial bundle are going to be bringing you a stamp camp, and you purchase the Symbols of Fortune suite from one of the members of the the team. If you're here in the UK, that can very well be me, and you get a tutorial bundle plus a pack of make and takes to make all of the cards in the tutorial bundle for free. And you also get to join in a Facebook group where you will get 13 other tutorials using that suite for free. So that will be buy the suite and get 26 tutorials from demonstrators around the world. So huge value. So do check that out. Okay, let's bring in my downward facing camera and let's have a little look at what we're going to play with today. Sorry, I got my water in a bit of a clunky container today. Right, so our focus today is going to be this Easter Friends stamp set, and it is beautiful. And as I say, I do have a stamper stack coming up with this, which if you are interested in, then do reach out to me and we will see what we can do. It is, I'm just flicking through my diary, 25th, Friday the 25th of March is the in-person stamper stack, and I shall hopefully send the kits out that same sort of around about that day as well. I might not get to the post box that day, it might be over that weekend, but yeah, at that point I shall send those out. So if that is something you want to join us for, do reach out if you're here in the UK. So my stamper stacks are 6 cards, 2 each of 3 different designs is what we create during a stamper stack, and that is you'll get the supplies and things to enable you to do that if you have it through the post. So yeah, so that is the stamp set that we're focusing on. But as I say, the bundle that is on offer that we're going to be adding in some elements are these Meadow dies and the Quiet Meadow stamp set. So we're going to perhaps be playing with some of those as well. So pop those to one side. I will show you here's one I made earlier. This was a card that was on a blog somewhere. Oh, I think it was on a tutorial bundle actually, and that tutorial bundle, the minute I get up on my website, will be available to buy, and that has about 30 tutorials in that particular tutorial bundle. That's the Crafty Collaborations tutorial bundle, and it's not just necessarily Easter. That is just any current product. So there's a whole range of different tutorials in there, and this is the card I created for mine. So if that is something that you're interested in, then I will get that tutorial bundle up as soon as I am able, and then it will be available on my website. But let's have a little look at this stamp set. I'm just going to take out the paper insert because the light is shining on it. That is much better. Right, so you can see there, and we have these really cute, the Easter Friends, these cute little characters here. We've got this beautiful little bunny, we've got this adorable little chick, and we have got a duckling. Now, obviously, the minute I saw this in the catalogue, it was like having that set. And funnily enough, as soon as the catalogues went out, I had somebody reach out to me and say, will you be doing a class with that? And I said, of course. And she said, I thought you would be. So yes, Morning Jackie, little duckling, very cute. And looks very, very pleased with herself, himself, a very pleased little duckling. So you've got the Happy Easter sentiments in there. You've got may your days blossom with joy and happiness, sending warm and happy wishes this spring. You can, of course, lose this spring. You could mask that and not use that. This one's just my friend. You've got this lovely little grass here. Would make a fabulous set for new babies or babies' first birthdays or any of those sorts of christenings or those sorts of occasions with these cute little creatures. So that is our stamp set that we're going to be concentrating on. It is a red rubber stamp set, and that always just gives you, the red rubber was the first and the original. Our photopolymer stamp sets are fabulous, but when it comes to, you know, really deep detail and things, you really can't beat the red rubber. And if you want to do anything that is going to be adding heat, if you're doing any triple embossing or any of those sorts of things, then you absolutely need to go down the red rubber route. Nice bit of alliteration there. But I think we're going to start with the duckling. So let me find a block that's going to fit him. There he is. The stamp itself looks very odd on this side, because you've got all this sort of line detail, the shading detail on it. And so he does look quite odd on there. But he doesn't look quite odd when he's been stamped. Excuse me, knocking the camera stand. I'm actually going to stamp him in some memento. To give us that sort of line drawing effect. And here I've got some stamping blends. An odd little arrangement of stamping blends, mainly yellows and orange. So I've got a light daffodil delight in there. I've got some so saffron, and I've got some pumpkin pie. Let's start off with some pumpkin pie, because I think we're going to go in with pumpkin pie feet. And obviously you can really see where the shading is on this little duckling. And we're going to give him a pumpkin pie beak as well, I think. Let's come in with light pumpkin pie. I'm going to take my Daffodil Delight. So it is the light one, it's not the dark one. But just where all this shading is, these sort of little fluffy bits on his head. Down here where we've got these fluffy bits. I'm going to come in with the darker of the lights of the so saffrons. Let's come in with our light so saffron here. And I'm going to go all the way over the top. Blending that all together. What a cute little fluffiness. So cute. Okay. Now we need to create somewhere for our little duckling. So I have already got a few little bits here. I've made a pool party card base, and then I wanted some so saffron paper. So I have gone into my 6x6 subtle paper pack. These can get a bit forgotten really, but whatever colour you're looking for, you're going to be able to find a coloured paper in there, because there's some of every colour in one of those packs. There's a pack in subtles, a pack in regals, a pack in brights, a pack in neutrals, and then you get packs in colours. And I've got a little mat of Pool Party there, and I've got a bit of white cardstock, but I'm not leaving that bit of white cardstock as a bit of white cardstock. I'm going to have a bit of play with that. So let's play with that before we go on any further. Right, I've got here the 3D stripes and splatters embossing folders. So this is a pair of 3D embossing folders, and of course they are the embossing folders that are going to fit through our mini machine. And a splatters embossing folder felt as if that was really quite appropriate for a little duckling. I think he would approve of having a splatter embossing folder. So what I'm going to do is just move that little bit of card to one side. This is actually 7 centimetres by 13.9. I'm going to take my Pool Party ink, and my Pool Party ink falls apart. So let's just take the little pad out of it, and I'm going to add some Pool Party ink to the inside of that embossing folder. Then I'm going to take a spritzer that's got water in it, and I'm going to give it a bit of a spritz. Too mad, just a bit of a, just so it makes that ink dance around a little bit on the surface. And let's lay our cardstock in there, and let's bring in our mini machine. And we are doing a 3D embossing folder. So we are going to need our number 1 base plate. Apologies. Then we are going to need to put in our embossing folder. And then we're going to need our number 4 plate. So let's just wind that through. Clonk. Let's open this up, and we have got a beautifully splattered piece of cardstock. I'm just going to take the baby wipe I had used earlier. Just going to quickly wipe that up. If I was not on camera, I would probably go and run it under the tap in the sink, but just want to get rid of that watery ink because it can travel, and we don't want Pool Party ink on everything. And I'm also going to give this a bit of a wipe just in case there's watery ink on there as well. Excuse me while I just do the washing up. But it's just so that if they're not to try and avoid any ink transferring. So now we have a beautiful, I'm just going to take, I promise you that this tea towel that I'm using here is only used in my craft room for crafty things. Do not then use it to dry up the cups. So now we have a lovely splattery piece of cardstock. So if we bring back in, so this cardstock here is 14.4 by 7.5, so just slightly bigger than that mat. So that looks much more interesting. And we have rather lovely little splatters. Now, am I just going to cut my duckling out? I think so. We'll cut round him. We'll give him a bit of a border because he has all his fluffiness. We're not going to attempt to cut out that fluffiness necessarily. Obviously, if you are at home and you want to attempt to cut out fluffiness, fill your boots. Let's come on round here. Round his other feet. Very cute. So, just deciding what we're going to have on there. Shall we go with "May your days blossom with joy and happiness"? It's a lovely sentiment. Something we all hope for, I think. Let's find a block for that. Let's go H block. Morning, Lee. Silly ink pad. I really need to sort out my ink pad budget. So I'm stamping that in Pool Party. To bring in my big scissors. My big scissors, I'm not Stampin' Up ones, they're ones I have had for years, but if I am doing a piece of long cutting like that, I do tend to go for bigger scissors. We'll find a little bit of Pool Party card. Go with that. Just going to put the lid on that Pool Party ink so that I don't rest in it. Morning, Leah. Morning, Beryl. Lovely to see you both here with us this morning. Let's trim this. Just digging through my ribbon somewhere, I'm sure. There is definitely some Pool Party ribbon. If I'm going to cut across some of this, it is going to be a different way. And actually, I think that might add a bit of interest. I'm going to cut that paper so that it is the same size as my piece of card. We'll just tear it. Flash of yellow across the bottom of there. Let's add these bits on. And there we have our bottom piece. Let's add our bubbles, our splatters to our pool party cardstock. Now obviously this is curled just slightly because the card was a little bit wet when we put it through the embossing folder. And we will just stick that down quite well. I'm going to wrap this pool party ribbon around here. And I want to tie a bow on that corner, on that edge. This ball of ribbon has gone on the floor and rolled off like a Andrex puppy's toilet roll. But we'll gather that up in a while. Let's find my ribbon scissors. Let's add that over the top of there with some dimensionals. Pop one in the middle. Tweak of that bow. I'm going to stick this on flat just because I'm putting dimensionals on the top. I don't want to make it too impossible to post. And then let's bring in my little duckling in the bottom here. Add him some dimensionals. I'm just going to take my scissors and just snip with little pieces off the bottom. A little bit of height. Bring that down a bit further, a bit of height to his feet. A little bit of support to his feet anyway. And we'll have our little duckling down the bottom here. So may your days blossom with joy and happiness. Just going to grab another die set. Just want a few little hearts. So this is one of the dies from the Sweethearts die set, and it will cut me out 4 little hearts. I don't know that I want 4. But they make quite cute little embellishments. I'm going to try and line that up on the paper so that we've got this dotty strip going down the centre of our heart. And that through. And then we have 4 little hearts. I don't say we're going to need 4 necessarily. Just pop that die back on the magnetic sheet. And we'll perhaps add in 3. One, 2, and 3. There's a cute little duckling, hoping that your days blossom with joy and happiness. Very cute. We'd obviously need to put a little white mat in the middle of there. Perhaps put just a little duckling on it. I might even use up that other little heart. Let's find my trimmer. And we'll cut this to 13.9. Ooh, that's not a wide enough piece of card, so we won't use that bit. Let's do that once more with feeling. 13.9 by 9.5. Let's just this little duck a little clean. Grab a So Saffron ink pad. I'm going to ink him up in So Saffron. Let's just add him in there. And we'll add a little heart. And pop that inside. There we are, and that saved us wasting that other little heart as well. So there we are, there's a little duckling card. Now we haven't yet used any of the Quiet Meadows, but I'm intending to on the other one. So let's move some of these bits out of the way, make ourselves a bit of room. Come back to those if we need them. Now I think I'm going to take a layering circle, because this time I'm going to stamp the bunny. Or I would if I could find where I've put my stamp set. There it is. Yeah, I'm going to go with a large layering circle. And this was a piece of card that was 13.9. Let's cut that to 9.5. And let's cut a circle out of it. I'm busy burying things now. Here they are. Let's bring in our cutting plates. I think that will just about squeeze through there. Right, I'm going to take this piece of cardstock that I cut earlier. I'm going to cut it down to 13.4, so it is slightly smaller than my card with the hole in. Let's line that up underneath there, and then with a pencil let's just create a circle so that we have a target that we're aiming for with our stamping. And I'm going to bring in little bunny. Now he's going to need an E block. Now I think I'm again going to stamp him in Memento because I want him to be fairly bold in the background. And have him, I don't want his feet showing through the circle, I want him to be peeping out like that. And when we put this back over, he's peeping through the circle. And then let's have a look. Let's have some a bit of petal pink, a bit of crumb cake. I'm going to grab the ivory. Could of course go for the new blends. I'll stick with these ones for now, I think. So some light petal pink. And I'm going to come in around his nose and his mouth, just there. Dark crumb cake. Let's pick up this shaded bits. His ears. Of course, rabbits, you could do them any colour. You could make them sort of pastel pinks and things if you wanted to. And his toes. Not being too particular here, I'm just really putting down a bit of colour. Let's come in with some light crumb cake. Very squeaky. And I'm going to come in with the ivory. sort of blending over the top a bit. I'm going to come back in with this light crumb cake. Here we are. We have a very cute little rabbit. I'm going to grab the little bit of a little stamp with a bit of grass on. I think that will fit on there. And I don't want to go too dark. I think I'll go pear pizzazz. Just sort of add some grass up the side here. That looks very odd there, but don't forget we're going to be adding in our piece over the top. And a bit of balmy blue. And a blending brush. We'll just add in a bit of sky around the top of him. He's cute. I'm now going to come in on my piece just here. So I'll grab my balmy blue again. Let's add in balmy blue around the top. And looking for pear pizzazz, and it's just here. Let's come in on the bottom. Some pear pizzazz. Right, we'll pop these to one side for a minute because I want a bit of space to do some die cutting. Bring back in our machine and let's have a dig about and find those meadow dies. And I think we'll have this flower just here. We'll have these flowers and that flower. Perhaps that bit of greenery. Let's see how that goes. If we want more, we can cut more. So these are long dies, but they are thin dies. Let's put that piece of cardstock on there and see how many of these. I'm going to cut them all in white. How many can we get onto this piece of cardstock? Not sure that I've just dropped off the edge there. Hopefully nothing too important. Can we get them all on? I think we can, with a bit of a wiggle here and a bit of a wiggle there. Now just needs to find my other plate. Here it is. Bring that down a smidge, because what you don't want them to do is overlap, because otherwise one die will cut into another die. Run those through there. And we have a die cut meadow. One. This is a fabulous set of dies. It's a lovely stamp set as well. So if it's one you haven't got, that one didn't quite cut all the way through. It was asking a lot, the little machine, to do it in one cut. One, two, three. Obviously, when you've got so many dies on your sheet, you are you're spreading the pressure out a little bit, and I think it was spread just a bit too much. This central die just here. Just snip those last bits out. Yes, it's no good blaming the die when you're asking too much of it. That was entirely my fault, not the die's fault, that last one didn't cut out. Right, so we have our little die cut pieces here. Just punch out these little ornaments. And I'm going to take my blending brushes again. I'm just going to add a bit of colour with the blending brushes. And some ink. So this is the one that we've used for the Pear Pizzazz. It's already got some Pear Pizzazz ink on it. So if we need any more. That will be fine. That's going a bit darker just here. Not worried about covering every last bit with colour. Just about sort of approximately colouring it. You could do this with the pastels as well. That would have been quite fun. Add in a bit of colour. Just going to sponge some colour with my blending brush onto the top of there. Then let's just grab, what should we have? Some Blushing Bride and some Highland Heather. Blushing Bride and Highland Heather on this one. Again, just using my brush. We could do this with sponge daubers as well. So that's just added a bit of Highland heather to that one. Let's add a bit of pink to this one. And then I think we'll go in with our So Saffron. And a bit of yellow on this one. So if I bring this back in, that pencil line isn't particularly going to show up too much, so I'm not going to worry too much about it, but just take it out a little bit. I'm not going to raise that up on there, I'm going to stick it on directly. So let's put our little bunny underneath our blended background, our aperture piece just there. Sorry, my mind went off on a wander then as I was deciding where I'm going to put these. I have this green piece coming up here. I can always snip some of these off. This one coming in down there. Just little spots of glue on the back. This yellow piece coming in up here. And I've just got this pink one here. Yeah, I'm going to take that one up there, I think. So I'm tucking it underneath the Highland heather. Necessarily want it to cover Bunny, just and in down there. Let's find our scissors and trim off those end pieces that are dangling over the edge. Now we could go in with a Happy Easter. thinking of you. You're too kind. Love. But I think I'm going to have a my friend. Right, just looking for my memento ink, which is underneath just here. How cute is he? It's those eyes, isn't it? Sort of has the same effect as Puss in Boots on Shrek. Slightly wonky, but that's okay. Handcrafted, not mass produced. Right. What should we have? As a backdrop for that card, I'm just bringing in a white card base. Right size, yes. Let's just score it. Standard size card base. And actually, I'm just going to leave it as a wider, slightly wider border. I think I'm not going to attempt to put any other colour underneath that. Let's glue him in place. And I think in terms of an embellishment, I'm going to take some of these brushed brass butterflies. It's a bit of a tongue twister. Let's have brushed brass butterfly. And we'll have a couple of small ones just up there. And I think he doesn't need anything else. So there we have Easter Bunny, little bunny meets those flowers from those meadow dies. So there's two little cards. We haven't used the chick on those ones, but I'm sure that they will be used somewhere along the line. And I have actually got a blog post that will go up at some point in the next week or two with a little treat box featuring that chick. So he does appear. I have used him, but yeah, those two little cards created using this beautiful Easter Friends stamp set, and combining it with the Quiet Meadows. We didn't use the Quiet Meadow stamp set, but we certainly did dig into those beautiful dies, and they all fit through that mini stamping cut machine. And that bundle is on 20% off if you get it before the end of March. So I hope that you have enjoyed playing with those little cuties. I know I have. They're really rather beautiful. Yeah, so thank you for joining me on this Monday morning, and I will be back very soon. Have a good week, everybody, and I'll be back later in the week.